But on FA Nation, Jonathan Pemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Playbook Preview Show. Today, we're looking at the 12-game Friday main slate over on DraftKings. James, how we doing, man?
We are doing nice little 12-gamer. A lot of really good left-handed pitchers on the slate. When you look at the top of the list, Sale, Skubal, Suarez, Reagans, just to name a couple of them. So, really at the top tier of pitching, really right at the smack dab top of elite starting pitching overall. So yeah, I mean, this should be a fun one. A lot of games. We have Coors, John. It is a Coors slate. Sound the alarms. Pittsburgh heading to Coors to take on Ryan Feltner. So, a lot to consider there when you have elite pitching plus Coors. The good thing is, like, Pittsburgh and Colorado are not expensive. Only one player on either team, $5,000 or more.
Right.
So, you'll be able to get pitching and Coors if you want, right? You don't obviously have to. Just because Pittsburgh is obviously who they are, but yeah, it should be an interesting one with how much good pitching plus Coors is on the slate.
Yeah, agreed. We appreciate you all tuning in. If you can hit that subscribe button, it's a free way to support the work we're doing here over on Fantasy Alarm. As you mentioned, top tier pitching, all a bunch of lefties up top. Sale, Skubal, Suarez. Matchup wise, I think Sale obviously looks pretty good against Tampa Bay. Yep. Houston, they're a lineup that certainly has guys that can hit lefties. And Skubal has been just unbelievable. Suarez, test your poison there against Baltimore at $9,900. Peralta at home against Cincinnati. We know how Cincinnati struggled against right-handed pitching. Reagans gets the Dodgers. That certainly feels a little bit worrisome there. And then Kyle Bradish has been pitching out of his mind. He's got Philadelphia here at $9,100.
Yeah, I mean, it's loaded. I agree on the Sale front. I do think he is your best option. That's why he's priced accordingly. I mean, dude, this is as good as it's been in years on years. Like, it just, one start against Oakland. Oh, whatever, right? Whatever. Because everything else has been dynamite from Chris Sale. So we can chalk that one up, throw it away, spit it out, and just move on. The strikeouts are elite. The walks, the lack thereof, are elite. The damage done, none other than the Oakland start. I mean, it's as good as it gets. And Tampa Bay, nearly a 26% strikeout rate, or 25.5% strikeout rate against left-handed pitching. Sub 700 OPS as a team. Great spot. I'm okay getting to Skubal. Dude, he's just in one of those.
Yeah.
He's having one of those years, right? It's like he's faced Kansas City twice, 3 times. He's beat Texas, almost shut them out. Basically shut Milwaukee out, dominated 10. Has also beat Houston already. 6 1/3, 7 hits, 7 strikeouts.
Beat the Yankees in Yankee Stadium. 12.
Dude, I mean, he has been as good as it's been in baseball this year. So I have no problem getting there, even though it's a tough spot against Houston.
I was gonna say my lone worry, and this I had to refresh to make sure I had all the settings correct. Do you know what Houston's strikeout rate is against left-handed pitching? Have you looked? If you haven't looked, take a guess.
I mean, I'm assuming it's really low.
It's maybe one of the lowest I've ever seen. And we're talking about a season-long stat.
17, 18?
15% strikeout rate versus left-handed pitching.
That's insane.
That is insane.
And they have the 9th most plate appearances. So, looking at it, it's not even it's they haven't faced as many lefties as other teams. They face as many as anybody.
Now, again, they struck out 7 times against Skubal already, but the 15% strikeout rate is wild.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So
that's a lot of contact. Okay, and maybe that's another point of emphasis. Chris Sale is going to be really popular, and he has the best matchup. Skubal and Suarez come in with really tough spots.
The last 2 weeks, their strikeout rate's 13% versus lefties. They're just not missing.
I do think it's something. There's something to be said about spots like this, where it's like the immovable force versus the what is it? The inanimate object or whatever. What is whatever the
Yeah, that's not it. But yes, I know what you're talking about.
phrases and
Yeah.
them into one. So my apologies there, but as like his ownership is likely to be depressed because of that, right? Not depressed. Oh man, I am on a freaking
The unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
yes, it's basically what I said.
Yeah.
What did I say?
We're out here.
Um anyways, my point is Chris Sale is going to be very popular. Maybe
Yes.
even Freddie Peralta. So the other three are guys in the 9K tier where you're looking at like lower ownership, right? Even Bradish to an extent. The other four guys where you can pick and choose if you want to get someone lower owned because Sale and Peralta are in great spots. They're likely to get a lot of ownership. Neither Skubal, Suarez, Reagans, Bradish are all fine for tournaments because they're elite.
Agreed. Mid-tier guys. They moved Castillo back today. He's got Texas now. Corey Seager got scratched from the Thursday lineup, so we'll have to wait and see exactly the reason for that. But obviously, Castillo against Texas would be a bit more appealing if Corey Seager was out of the lineup. Gausman coming off maybe his best start, not maybe, definitely his best start of the year. Quick game shutout against Oakland. He gets Cleveland here, $8,500. What are your thoughts? Waldron, the knuckleballer, 81. Like, what are your thoughts on this mid-tier range?
So the Seager, the quote from Bochy is that they're being cautious.
Okay.
And he had a bit of tightness while getting ready, but they want him to be a full go for Seattle. And they expect him to be in the lineup tomorrow, aka today for
Sure.
this game. So should be a full Texas lineup with Seager. We'll see, right? Well, fullish, because there's obviously a bunch of injuries there. That would be obviously a big ding if Seager's in the lineup. Maybe passing Castillo, going from the White Sox to Texas is not the most fun change in your rotation turn. I'm basically interested in Waldron, just given how well he's pitched of late. 15 plus fantasy points in 6 straight games, 2 earned runs or fewer in all 6 of those outings. And we have seen some strikeout appeal, not in the last 2 starts against Arizona, LA, but in the 4 games prior, 6 plus in all those games. So there's win equity here with San Diego. They're the best road offense in baseball by like a wide margin. Just gonna throw that one out there. So a lot of win equity here for Waldron. I like him at 81. That's probably my favorite 8K tier.
Sure. We're going to weigh down this list into the under 8K range. Sammy Woods Richardson faces off against Oakland here. Hunter Brown's been looking a lot better of late. He's got Detroit, but obviously going opposite of Tarek Skubal. For looking down in this value tier, is there any favorites of the group?
I'm going to say it. I know Zach Little doesn't offer too much, but I don't know if you saw since the Acuna injury, the Braves are dead last in basically every offensive category.
I did, but did you see that they were like first in hard hit contact?
They are, and obviously they're good against lefties, but Little throws from the right side. Like Albies had 4 hits on Thursday, and Duvall had 2 hits on Thursday. Last I checked, Little's throwing from the right side, right?
Sure.
So maybe a little bit interesting. I completely agree on Woods Richardson. I also agree on Hunter Brown. He has been pretty good of late, and the strikeouts are all the way back. There's some definite positive regression for Hunter Brown. All the metrics suggest a lot of unlucky stuff was happening to him. Now he obviously wasn't pitching well early.
He's still walking too many guys.
Yeah, still walking too many guys. But this is 4 straight starts. He's able to get through 6 innings. 3 of them, he's had 7 plus strikeouts and a lot of ground ball outs, which is great to see for a guy who was giving up a lot of home runs. So I like Hunter Brown a lot. He was really popular last time out. He's going to be really popular, I think, again at 7,200 against Detroit. But same thing goes for Woods Richardson. He's also going to be pretty popular. I think those two probably split almost all the ownership down here because when you look at like basically everything else, it's all just kind of
Yeah.
grossness. I don't really know if there's like one particular spot I'd be like, ah, yes, I'd love going to where.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm not really looking to go and many of these places here. Honestly, I agree with you that I would rather go um, and look at Hunter Brown probably over. I think Woodridson for me. Where are you? If you had to pick one or the other.
I'm gonna go Hunter Brown. I do think that let's see, Woods Richardson on the money line. It's a pick'em, Detroit, Houston,
Yeah,
and that's obviously Scooble related. But Woods Richardson, big favorite, minus 178 to minus 185, depending on what sports book you're
yeah,
looking at. So obviously there's appeal. Like the win equity seems to be in Wood Richardson's favor. I think Hunter Brown has the, and I don't know if it's much of a discussion. I think Brown has just simply flashed the higher ceiling more
I
consistently.
agree.
So.
Let's move on over to catcher again, a spot where we generally look to just spend down and find the best value. Any names or matchups in particular stick out to you here?
Patrick Bailey gets Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson was due for some regression. He got hammered his last time out. So Bailey, where did I see Ryan or Cal Raleigh against Andrew Heaney? I think is an interesting play.
Sure.
Garver at 35 against a lefty. Garver has really good numbers against lefties. So there's just like three. I'd be interested to see what obviously Pittsburgh does
I was gonna say,
at catcher in cores. I mean, they obviously Grandal's an option, but he's been a corpse for what, 3 years, and now
yeah,
you
Henry
have
Davis is down here at 3K.
Henry Davis who homered in his like one of his most recent games. So
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know if I would simply just plug them because it's cores. Like you still have to be like a serviceable option. They're
yeah,
hitting 100 on the year, so but obviously they do have the boost at their cores.
I agree. Let's move on over to first base. Up at the top, you have Otani and Freeman gets Reagan's probably not the spot necessarily to use either of those. Again, Harper versus Bradish. Bradish has really been good this season. Do any of these top options jump out to you? Maybe Vlad versus Logan Allen, possibly at 5K.
Yeah. I don't think there's anything. I mean, like Olsen, you just can't pay 5,500 for him right now. Christian Walker obviously has home run appeal, but I feel kind of similar. It's not the right split for him. I guess Vladdy. I mean, I'm having a hard time really until we get to Josh Naylor, and only because I mean he has a righty lefty split, but he hasn't even been that good. I don't know what is your opinion? I don't have a lot of interest in many of these guys. Like you can obviously play them all in tournaments because they're.
I mean, I feel the same way. When you come through these parts of the rotation where you're facing other teams' number ones, it's difficult to pinpoint obvious matchups here. We have some guys that are in good split spots that we've attacked in the past, like a Mountcastle versus lefty, but I'm not going to go up against
Correct.
Suarez here. Gavin Stone's been better this season. Bascantino's 4,800 feels a little bit too much for me.
Agreed.
At that price, personally, I honestly, I'm like scrolling through. I don't know, man. Like, if it's not Vladdy at 5K, like maybe it'd be Justin Turner at 3,600.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
same teams, lefty matchup.
That's kind of where I also got to. I got to a couple names down in that range as well. Turner at 36. If Miranda's in the lineup, 36. Wilmer Flores, 3,500. I mean, I hate to do it, but going right back to the White Sox guys against Ryan Nelson, Gavin Sheets, Andrew Vaughn, both
Yeah.
those guys continue to be solid. Shanuel, 3,200 if he leads off. So I think all those like
they gave your guy Spencer Horwitz first base eligibility. Now he's a lefty, but
leadoff hitting Spencer Horwitz.
I know, just funny they gave him the first base. Oh, you know what? Donovan Solano versus a lefty has long been a thing, and he homered twice the other day.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah, they're very good against lefties. They're very good against lefties, and they're very good on the road. So like,
which is funny because Tatis is horrible against lefties.
Tatis is except he did homer. Well, he's hitting everybody right now. Yeah. Like he's been on that So I agree where he has been bad against lefties, but I still think like I would still play him in a stack.
Second base, Albies, Altuve.
Soderstrom, by the way, 2,300 at first.
Sure, Soderstrom works.
He's been really good lately, especially.
Yeah, Homer tonight off Joe Ryan. So get Timmy Woodridgeson. That's a good call out. Second base over the top again. Albies is there. Altuve, Westberg. Fine. Ketel Marte versus Flexen. I know it's not the right split for Marte, but Flexen kind of sucks. So at $5K for Marte, I'm good there. Nick Gonzalez in Coors at $4,800 is probably pretty solid as well. Yep. But then again, after that, like, I don't know. Did Schneider 45 maybe? What are your thoughts here?
We'll have to get a ruling on the Davis Schneider home run odds before I commit.
We'll have to go check if his home run odds are the same as Ohtani.
I mean,
yeah. What world do we live in? The man was over 18 going into that game, and
Yeah, there needs to be a 6-part ESPN E60 on why that happened.
It happened.
It did. No, I know why.
Vegas algorithm put Davis Schneider and Shohei Ohtani at the same home run odds, and one of those two guys did homer. Actually, I lied. They both homered.
They both definitely. Yeah, they both homered. Vegas. Yeah, I kind of largely agree on everything you said when it comes to just the top names. Ketel Marte, because Flexen's bad. Gonzalez, basically because he's in Coors, and Feltner is bad. Terang is obviously a guy that can just get on and run. That's your reason. And Hunter Green, has been worse in his career against left-handed bats. So this year, not so much. Righties have given him problems, but I do think Terang, if he gets on, obviously he's going to run. Schneider is fine. Cronenworth is a guy that hits lefties relatively well. I'm trying to find the splits for Cronenworth. So
he is a lefty, but I think he has some power numbers against them.
Not this year. He has not been good against lefties. But Sean Manaea, 300 average against lefties, 860 OPS allowed. So just throwing that out there. Cronenworth 44.
Dylan Moore has power versus lefties this year, 224 ISO. Last year, he had a 259 ISO against left-handed pitching, so that's kind of carrying over. We didn't really talk Heaney. We obviously know the strikeout upside that Seattle brings. What was Heaney even priced at here? 7K. A couple of good starts from Andrew Heaney here. Maybe he's worth more of a consideration than we gave him.
Yeah, I'll throw him in the Woods Richardson Brown bucket, and if he's like significantly lesser owned, why not give him a chance?
Right. I agree with you on that one. Let's see. Working our way down the list here. IKF 3,300.
I never thought we'd live in a world where IKF was suggested this much, but here we are.
I mean, it's just the value play that's down here. Right?
I'm not disagreeing. I'm just I watched him play the Yankees. This is not who I watched play with the Yankees for the last.
And there's nothing else down here, honestly, that you would even play.
Yeah.
Like Geloff is supposed to be better. He's poking around a little bit.
I would play Horwitz if he was leading off.
Even lefty, yeah.
Yeah, I would play him if he was leading off.
All right. Third base. Jose Ramirez gets Gossman. Royce Lewis for Spence. Where Lewis stands on this show. Machado gets Manaea 52. Again, after that, I don't know. McMahon versus Ortiz at 4,800.
Yeah. I do like the Ramirez spot against Gossman. Gossman, just looking at some numbers, Gossman's been struggling against left-handed batters, so we have that for us. Lewis play is obviously an option. Machado against a lefty on the road. He's been good on the road. So definitely can go there. like Guerrero, you mentioned at first, he's fine. I think Matt Chapman. I think the Giants are a little bit sneaky, just given Tyler Anderson was due for regression, got hammered last time out, like positive. That was obviously coming, but it's just hard to like
I just
really
wish he
want
was in
to.
a different ballpark.
Yeah, it's just hard to get to San Francisco because home runs are doubles there, and it's just like not the same. Cabrian Hayes will be popular at 42. I didn't mean to skip over McMahon. I know you mentioned him. That's a good play.
Yeah.
But Cabrian Hayes, 42, he'll lead off probably and be
The
under
pricing for him is great there for sure. Got more there already. Got some lefty spots. Not going to go. Like, I like Smith. I don't know about against Castillo. Bregman versus Skubal. Again, Bregman is hot. I don't know about against Skubal.
Candelario's been so good, dude. It's just obviously such a tough spot, but he's been another guy's just been like really, really good. Double dong the other day.
Yeah. You can play Solano over here. You can play IKF over here. Blaze Alexander, 3,300.
Yeah, he'll probably start. If Eugenio has another offer on Thursday, he'll probably start on Friday.
So, a couple of guys you can go to at third base. For shortstop, where do you start builds here?
Starting builds at shortstop. I mean, dude, Bobby Witt, you could just play every day. Every day he is doing something productive. The average just continues to rise. And like if you have him in a seasonal league, there's no way you'd possibly trade him to anyone on the same in the same podcast as you. Not even a chance, even if that person sends you six.
Even if the deal was like pretty solid overall.
Even if there were 6 players in the deal, it's not Bobby Witt's staying on that.
Either like one of those players was Paul Skeens, like maybe you'd consider it if you were like last in a lot of pitching categories.
Oh, less than a lot of categories, brother. Mookie, lefty, righty. Obviously, it's fine. Ellie, this is the better side of the plate for him, but it's just hard. Not a lot to like. Honestly, I think that's where you do start. I think Tovar, O'Neal Cruz. O'Neal Cruz.
I'm even like worried about O'Neal Cruz, man. Like I know he's gonna homer during the series, but I mean, man, Miles Michaelis struck him out twice. Like, what are we?
I mean, he definitely struck out twice against Miles Michaelis. I'm not disputing it. He's also like been very good against righties and just a 0 against lefties. And Ryan Feltner's a righty. And that's obviously, O'Neal Cruz hits the ball differently than a lot of people. So, like, I agree. I like Tovar better. I saw something the other day that there was a video on X. I don't know if you saw it. It was circulating. Everyone's talking about, like, the Cruzes at shortstop. But, like, why don't we talk about Tovar, who has been better than both of them? Now, they all strike out way too much. We're talking 3 shortstops that are just striking out over 30% of the time. I do think Tovar is arguably the best, like the better of the two. It's probably going to come down to ownership for me. If Tovar is 10% less rostered than O'Neal Cruz, why wouldn't we just play Tovar in cores in an equally good spot, right?
Moving our way down here. Adames at home versus a righty, and a guy that's going to throw just fastballs at him at 4,500 feels like a home run could be on its way.
It's happened both the last 2 times he's been at home.
Do we have a Adames Green BVP? They've been in the same division now, so let's see. Willie Adames. I know you hate BVP numbers, but I'll just check it out for those who are curious here. Batter versus pitcher. Green, 3 for 12, 2 homers. So you can just chalk a homer here for Willie. Big Willie style. Ha-Seong Kim at $4,200 against Shamanaya. I like that play. You've been in on Correa. Had a good day again on Thursday. Coming to 5 hits. No power really, but I mean, it's
none.
Spot.
No power.
Spot.
No. We know he has no power. I mean, dude, he's just been good. Like whether or not he's hitting for power, 4 of the last 5 games, he's given us double-figure fantasy points, and his price like really hasn't moved. Like if he was $5,000, I'd be more concerned about the lack of power. But if he's going to keep giving us like multi-hit games and multi-runs and RBI opportunities, then yeah, I'm interested.
Value guys down here, anyone stick out to you? DeYoung against Nelson.
Nato, I know it's a righty, but Nato's been pretty good. Geraldo Perdomo, DeYoung, righty. He's hit a lot of home runs against righties this year. So yeah, I think there's a couple.
DeYoung for me
games
probably play if you're going down here just because you want that home run potential. Outfield again, pretty deep. Kind of find your stack and build around. A lot of lefties or guys that hit lefties and facing tough lefties. So, there's certainly a big chance for a miss with the top of these guys as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of tough spots. I would say I know Tatis hasn't been good against lefties and the hit streak ended. But he has obviously been incredible for a month. I would definitely play him in a Padres stack. Same thing goes for Teoscar in terms of like how good he's been. I know it's a tough spot, but Teoscar has been as good as a lot of players across baseball. So that's the spot. Julio Rodriguez hits lefties really well. I would play him at 5K. Those are probably the guys. And obviously Schwarber's been pretty damn good lately too. So I know Bradish has been great, but Schwarber's.
I agree with you. I'm working our way down into the mid tier of guys here. When does Nolan Jones come back? Is he soon? Elected not to activate him on 6/11 as previously planned. More time at the minor league level. So that was Monday.
To find his proper swing.
Less than so they basically are choosing not to activate him because they would just demote him to AAA. Is that basically what we're getting here?
I think he's saying that he is going to come up and suck, so he wants to figure it out.
We'll see if he gets activated ahead of the weekend series in Coors, I guess. I would have some speculative interest in Nolan Jones if he was activated. Luis Robert at 48, definitely too cheap with the run he's going on right now. Yep.
So I just looked this up, okay? Ryan, so everyone before John and I both played White Sox on
to be determined on how that
Ryan Nelson. TBD. Ryan Nelson this year, John, against right-handed bats, okay? 406 average, 624 slug, 462 WOBA allowed. He has a 15% strikeout rate. He has a 2.38 whip against righties, and a 46% hard hit rate allowed to right-handed bats. Those are very bad numbers. And that just tells me that I'm going to play more White Sox in back-to-back days than I probably will the rest of the season. Because I'm going to play Luis Robert, I'm going to play Andrew Vaughn, and I'm going to play Paul DeYoung. I'm going to be
sweating out the White Sox no matter what on Thursday night because I bet the no-run first inning when it was Castillo starting for Seattle with Garrett Crochet, and then it's not. It's Emerson Hancock. So that's so I'm hoping that at least for the first inning, the White Sox are the White Sox.
Well, can we get like 3 hit by pitches or something, or like 3 singles and then like 3 just like strikeouts after that? At least we get like some fantasy points.
As long as no runs score in the first, that'd be fantastic. Because again, I actually that like hit me as we were discussing. I was like, oh, I actually bet the no run first inning. It should be voided. That should be a voided bet, right? They changed the pitcher. That should be a voided bet.
Should be. Maybe you should message.
Anyways, Corbin Carroll's $4,700. We told you the price is going to start coming up on him. Play him now before he's $5,700.
Yep.
It's Chris Flexen, $4,700. Yep. Play Corbin Carroll. Get him in your lineup. Do it.
Yeah, I got nothing else to add there. He's too cheap. I mean, it's gonna feel really good back-to-back days. Like it's gonna feel like last year playing Luis Robert and Corbin Carroll like in their same lineup.
Definitely get them in your lineup there. Where are you going in the mid tier here as well? Jock Peterson, I guess, is 44. You can play that too.
Yep, Jock. Brenton Doyle has been really, really good in Coors
Mm-hmm.
Field. He's been good lately again, but he's been amazing at Coors. You want to talk about a player that just will never leave the Rockies organization? He's hitting 213 on the road this year, John. 337 at home.
Yeah.
929 OPS. Brent Doyle's going to be in my lineup for the next however many days they are in course for sure. You can play McCutcheon at 43. I mean, just again, I'm just like, I feel like I'm just like
Sure.
pooping from the mouth, just saying like, just regurgitating all these players that are just in cores, but like it has to be mentioned, right? Connor Joe 46, Reynolds 47. We didn't mention them. Blackman 47. You can play any of those like cores options. JD Martinez, he just hit a walk-off home run,
JD
but not
Martinez
going to play
did?
him against Waldron. Just hit a walk-off home run, yes. Against the Miami Marlins. Things could not get worse for the Marlins, I think. Gurriel is definitely interesting. I know it's not the
Right.
superior split for him.
He's been dreadful against righties,
But
but
it is Chris Flexen. Let's see what the Flexen splits are. Flexen has been way worse against lefties. Lefties have a big time OPS. So yeah, maybe we don't go Lourdes and we just go
yeah,
the three lefty
McCarthy.
outfielders.
Yeah.
McCarthy's back under 4K. He's back under 4K as well.
I
There's
like
obviously
that.
still in baseball.
We're gonna weigh under 4K range. You mentioned obviously McCarthy's down there. Buxton had a good day today. I mean, if Byron Buxton's going good, he's not a
Good.
$3,900 hitter.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
been better. He's been better lately. Like last 6 games, he's been three multi-hit games in that span. So and remember we were just talking about Carlos Correa power. Carlos Correa just hit a home run. So
Hey, Royce
there's
Lewis
the
is on
Carlos
base.
Correa
So
power for you, John. He was. And
there you go. There
Carlos
you go.
Correa home run. So he was listening to our
We had
pre-show
somebody in
that's
our
not
chat
posted
today
yet.
say, "Where's the Carlos Correa power gun?" And we're like, I don't know.
But again, salute to Carlos Correa.
Agreed.
He has been excellent.
Where are you,
past week.
Jack Swinsky? Just power or nothing here in cores. He gets a hold of one.
Isn't the Jack Sawinski players in cores are the worst to roster or to fade because
No.
you can't get them right because it's like I don't want to play Jack Sawinski because there's a 4 strikeout game coming, but also when I don't play him, he's going to homer twice because it's like he's in cores. Those types of players are the worst cores rosters.
No,
sorry for my
that's
tangent.
Fine. Let's see what else we got here. We got Larnick at 38. Anything else that's like sticking out to you here?
Nothing that's sticking out.
Melendez
I'm going like
maybe
down the
against
list. Like
Stone.
Grishik, if he's in. Yep, Grishik. There's possible appeal against Flexen, even though it's been like lefties giving them.
Do you think we get a Jose Siri bat flip in this game?
This would be a really
right. Wouldn't that
obvious?
Doesn't this one feel like an obvious bat flip?
It does feel. It does feel very bat flippy if Jose Siri goes yard. What happened to the like Jose Siri from last year that hit like 30 home runs?
I mean, you have to make contact to hit home runs.
Jose Siri.
So, and he doesn't. Jake Cave. Right?
And there's a dead ball
against Ortiz.
Yeah. Again, just poop from the mouth. Just anyone that's in that game, just like Michael
Drew
Taylor.
Waters.
Hey.
Anybody else?
Drew Waters is fine. I don't think there's like Stower's homered, but he's in a terrible split, terrible matchup. Austin Martin, if he's hitting 9th, but like righty. I mean, he played righty on.
Yeah,
that's fine, right? He'll probably. I mean, if Kirillov's in AAA, so if they play Martin again, like maybe he's just a punty option for us.
Anything else? All right, let's build a lineup.
Nothing that I see.
We didn't really like love the top pitching.
Sale, I probably love Sale. I think Sale was probably on the But we don't have to.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm with you. Sale's fine. And then for value, Hunter Brown. Okay. Catcher play.
I mean, if we want to just maximize our money, it's Henry Davis.
Henry Davis for me, 3K. Where are we going at first?
Well, do we want to play? What do we want to do with cores?
I think we should get at least some cores exposure.
Okay. So probably shortstop is probably our place for that, right? Tovar / Cruz, one of the two. Leaning Tovar in that equation. I think that's you agree on that front, right? On the Tovar front. What do we got for the Ortiz splits? Do we know if Ortiz has been worse against righties or lefties? I don't know. I do not know. He was good his last start. He hasn't really been extended, huh? He's been pitching at the bullpen this year. So
we like the value at first down here, like Justin Turner.
Value at first, yep. Or the White Sox guys like Vaughn. Okay. Yeah, righties have crushed Nelson.
Second base. Or do you want to do?
Want to plug Carroll, Luis Robert, or some iteration of those two?
Robert, $3,800 for 3 plays.
Still got a good amount of money there. Donovan Solano, 31, third.
Yeah, I like Solano.
You were talking
4,200 to go here. Let's see.
What do we got? Outfield second.
Like Nick Gonzalez, just to get another chords piece in there. Or, I mean, there wasn't really a value play for us, so. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. We did Nick Gonzalez here. That gives us a $3,700 outfielder. $3,700 outfielder is.
Where's Sawinski?
Sheets.
The worst. He's 38.
I mean, you can go a little bit further down from Henry Davis, I'm sure. Gashioka versus Minaya.
Yeah, he'll probably be in the
outfielder now. Lefty. 4K outfielder would be.
If Profar plays, he's been great.
Yeah, I'll plug Profar in for now. So example lineup for everybody: Sale, Brown, Higashioka, Vaughn, Gonzalez, Solano, Tovar, Carroll, Robert, and Profar. Again, James and I will be back live at 5 p.m. Eastern time, so make sure you tune in for that. Until then, everybody, good luck with your lineup builds, and we'll catch y'all later.